welcome back to Figurama. A new one for a new year. Yes, Figurama is still going on. It's going to be a new format this year to get more personal with you, obviously. But we are doing sort of a quick one today just to break the ice of the new year. Obviously, I got two G.I. Joe classifieds here. I've had them for a little time. Mr. a Big BOA and Techno-Viper, which are, what are they? 114 and 117 in the series. And like I said, this is a new sort of video format that I'm just going to try here. So we'll see how it goes because, you know, I want to change the channel up a little bit. I want to get more personal. I need to open up my backlog of figures. So G.I. Joe Classified is obviously my number one line, as I've said before. Right now, I get most things in the line, and I really wanted a Techno-Viper. I did not have a Techno-Viper when I was a kid, but I really wanted this. Big BOA I did have as a kid, and I did not like him. He was one of my least favorite G.I. Joes that I had. Right after Crystal Ball, I had Crystal Ball, and Crystal Ball is like the worst G.I. Joe of all time. But Big BOA didn't make any sense to me. He's got punching gloves. How are you gonna go punch someone with a gun? But Big BOA actually has a cool backstory. So let's look at the packages real quick, and then we'll go into the individual sort of details of them. So obviously Techno-Viper, Big BOA, we already went over the numbers, 117, 114, QR code for the store, all the icons, which I don't think I'm gonna go over anymore. Hasbro doesn't care about those. On the other side, you got some good art. I like the art. I always like the art. That's why I love the old boxes. So much more art. I'm really not a huge fan of the newer boxes, which we've seen before. On the back, you got the renders, some details right here, bloody knuckles. And Techno-Viper's got some cool accessories, which, you know, we'll see in just a minute. So obviously this Techno-Viper is based on the original Series 6 figure from 1987. It was his version 1 figure, the first version ever. His first appearance in the comic book was issue number 63, and Techno-Viper was just a generic soldier. Generic everything. Like, he wasn't special at all, didn't have any storylines, didn't have nothing. He's just a generic purple dude. But his job on the battlefield was actually repairing things, and so obviously that's where all these tools come in. They're repair tools to repair the vehicles. Big BOA came out in the same series, Series 6, in 1987. I did have a Big BOA growing up, like I said. But he's got an interesting story because he actually was supposed to originally, as the story goes, as I understand the weird story. You know, G.I. Joe obviously was Sergeant Slaughter and different people, the Fridge. They would put, you know, real life people as a G.I. Joe. And one of their ideas was to have Sylvester Stallone as a G.I. Joe, a Rocky sort of themed get together. And so they were designing a Sylvester Stallone G.I. Joe, and Big BOA was actually supposed to be his arch nemesis. You know, Big BOA, Rocky Balboa or whatever. But I guess the Sylvester Stallone G.I. Joe fell through, but they continued to make Big BOA. They actually put out Big BOA still because, I don't know, why not? He's a dude that goes around punching people with guns. But anyways, he does have, it does sort of make sense. He's like the trainer. He trains people to fight behind the scenes. That's why he's got gloves. It's not like he's gonna run up to someone with a machine gun and punch him to death before he gets shot. So that's what we're gonna look at this episode. So let's open them up. I don't know, take a closer peek. All right, so Big BOA himself. So it's like, there's a couple new things here. Obviously this harness is new and it looks really good with the red paint, with the red color and the silver paint details. That's what I'm saying with words. In this chest and these arms, I'm sure are reused because they actually have pins on them. So you know they're from a past figure because when you look at the legs, they're pinless legs. So I guess these are newer legs, I would guess, or maybe even, I don't know, Marvel Legends legs or something. So it's always odd to me when they have pins on arms and not legs, you know what I mean? Mismatching sort of the pieces, but I guess it works. I mean, it works with the aesthetic of the old figure for sure, especially with the helmet. Remember, the original G.I. Joe figure just had this mask on. It didn't have a human head, or you couldn't remove the head on the old G.I. Joes, obviously. So, I mean, the big selling point with him, I guess, is you finally get to see his face. Big BOA actually wasn't a prominent character in the comic book, but in the comic book, he wasn't really a prominent character. In the IDW version of the G.I. Joe comic book, there was actually a female Big Boa. But I don't know if it was just a gender swap, or if it's, they're just trying to do something different. I don't know any of that sort of information. So obviously, he's a boxer. So doesn't need a shirt, obviously. And one of the really cool things about it is the hands, which we did see a render on the back of the box. His hands have those wraps on them, and they're like bloodied, wraps on there. Like he's definitely been getting into brawls without his boxing gloves on, and it looks pretty good. Obviously, it's a kind of a plain figure. It's just a dude with no shirt, blue pants. I would guess that these legs are reused too from somewhere. I can't pinpoint them offhand anymore just because there's too many G.I. Joes. But I mean, articulation-wise, obviously this is the basic G.I. Joe articulation. I've said it 1,000 times before. Is exactly what you'd expect from a B-list sort of Cobra guy with uses punching gloves. I don't know. Let's see what he looks like with this helmet. So the helmet's actually, it doesn't go on the head. It's actually a separate head. So you have to sort of pop his head off. Obviously use a ball joint there, which is black. Kind of weird. And pop that new head on. And there we go. This is how I remember him. Obviously, this is how I had him when I was a little lad, a little boy. And I definitely dig this for sure. Once he has the helmet on, that's when my nostalgia kicks in a little bit. Even though he was not my favorite when I was a kid, said that before. This still looks pretty good, and it does, itch that nostalgia sort of, itch. So I definitely like this head more. There's definitely some good paint details, good sculpt details on here too. Again, he's very plain. So this helmet actually gives him a lot of contrast. It definitely gives him some visual pizzazz, visual excitement, if you will. And so these hands I really like. They are grippy hands, and he does have something to grip. He's got these weights. And now these weights, I didn't have Big Boa till I saw the second Sergeant Slaughter, the Slaughter's Marauders, Sergeant Slaughter? Slaughter's Marauders Slaughter. And he came with these, so I thought these were in his set first, but they were actually Big Boa's first. These 90-pound, dumbbells, and they look pretty good. 90 pounds. I think Sergeant Slaughter's maybe has some paint accent right there, like the 90 is colored to give it a little more contrast or something, but they don't look bad by any means. And obviously, he can hold them in his hands. That's what hands are for, to hold things. And that is a heavy dumbbell, 90 pounds right there. Oh yeah, he's doing some curls. Oh yeah, some curls. All right, and these hands actually pop off because his gloves are actually two pieces. They're not, they don't go over his hands like his helmet. It's actually a glove with a peg right here. And this sort of cuff is a loose piece. So when you're popping it out of the package, don't drop this, don't lose it. And so obviously, pop his hand out and pop his new mutant giant boxing glove hand in, just like that. It's pretty awesome with the Cobra symbol on it. That was a good touch. I'm pretty sure the original figure did not have that on it, but I don't have a picture in front of me. I'll look at pictures later. So I'll just keep talking like I know what I'm talking about, even though I don't. Bam, other punching glove on. And again, I really love the Cobra symbol on there. It really sells it. And, when he gets his helmet on, when he gets his punching gloves on, this is definitely a very unique character. I mean, I do like it. Again, I thought he was kind of dumb when I was little man, but I dig this figure. It definitely looks good once you get the gloves on, once you get the helmet on. That's the way I'll be displaying him. Alright, so Techno-Viper has all the design notes as the original figure. This is very close to the original figure, and I really like this. I really like this. I like a lot of the Cobra troops in the classified line so far. Like, some of my favorites have been just the normal Cobra Trooper and the Alley Viper and stuff. And this is definitely a Bat too. Bat's one of my favorites. Top 2 or 3. And this guy fills in that same void too, except I really like the updates too. He definitely looks, you know, technologically, you know, advanced. He looks, he's a homage to the original figure, a homage. There's a ton of new stuff here. I thought this might be an overlay, but I don't think it is. I think this is all sculpted on, and it looks really good, especially these wires. I really like these sort of hoses, the purple with the black, the silver logo, and then, you know, the silver hoses going to the back and everything. They look really, really good. I love the helmet. I especially love the sculpt on the helmet and everything. Like, it looks so good, especially with this paint scheme. I really like, I'm a purple fan, okay? I like purple. And just the aesthetic of everything here is really good. And it seems to me that there's a lot of new here. Like, I haven't seen these shoulder pads before. This chest is obviously new. These arm guards look awesome. I love how sort of bulky they are. And they do have a peg hole right there for one of his accessories, which we'll see in a second. They both are identical on each side. They have a little screen on them. So I guess, you know, that's how he, I don't know, checks machines or something. I don't know. Remember, he's the mechanic. He's the dude that's changing your oil. But even this leg holster in the legs, like, I don't see a lot of reuse that stands out to me, like, right away. Like, he looks like a whole new character to me almost. He's definitely got more accessories than Big BOA, so he's definitely worth it to me. Like, he's pretty darn awesome looking. He's got some, oh yeah, he's got different colored knee guards there. That's why it's different colored in the back. You can see the joint right there. But I guess that's not a huge deal because he does have different colored knee guards. Typical G.I. Joe articulation, still got the ab crunch there, just like Mr. Big BOA did. So everything's just normal G.I. Joe, you know, classified thing. He's got a butterfly joint. It's a pretty small one. Double elbows, double knees. The same old G.I. Joe Marvel Legends, you know, feet articulation. But I mean, overall, the aesthetic of this guy, I love it. My favorite part is these big, bulky sort of gauntlets on him. I don't know. He looks really cool. So first things first, let's go to the little gauntlets. Look at the little peg hole. Because I do have an accessory right here. And if you're just looking at this offhand, you might not sort of understand it. But there's a picture on the box to explain it. If you put it in this sort of peg hole right here, zoop. I don't know which way is front, back. I don't know. But there you go. It's like a sort of like a holographic, like, you know, pop-up readout. So maybe he's like working on a machine and these things are scanning it for him or something. And, you know, he's reading some details, schematics or something like that. But it's a really cool looking effect for sure. He's got a small little handgun right here. Obviously, everyone needs a handgun or a knife of some sort. So it's got good sculpting details. There is no paint accents though. They have moved to paint accents pretty recently, but this is, what is this, 117? He does have a holster right here on his leg. So it goes right there in the holster. And it looks, obviously, like a gun in a holster. It's a gun in a holster. What do you want? He also has a big gun. And this gun looks very similar to the original gun the original Techno-Viper came with. The backpack and this gun with the hose are just like the original Techno-Viper. So it's sort of like, it's not like a bullet gun. It's, I don't know. I don't know. A flamethrower, a laser shooter of some sort. I don't know. But obviously his hands on there, as I'm sure you've seen so far, are trigger finger hands. Trigger finger hands. The weapons at this point in G.I. Joe are still a little gummy. I think they're the newer figures, it's a little bit better, but this is still from the gummy age. So they're a little bit gummy, they're a little bit soft, you know what I mean? So, but that's, I don't know. That looks just like the original figure. Like if you, again, if you looked at this guy from a glance, and Big BOA too. If you look at Big BOA just from a glance, obviously, and you knew who he was from when you were, 2 years old, you would know right away that this is Techno-Viper. And so, like I said, to go with his gun, he also has this backpack. And this backpack is one of the best pieces in the set because it's got 2 different paint accents. I love it. Keep giving me paint accents, man. So it's got these notches right here at the bottom, and those are for his tools, I think. But obviously this goes on his back. I don't know which side's up. I think this side is up. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. No, that side's, yeah. For the record, I had to check a picture, but I had it right, okay? So it's this way. This way is up. The tanks are down. This way is up. So the tools will go there. And he does come with a hose too. So just like the original figure, a hose went from the gun to the backpack. So they did the same thing here. So hooks to the gun right there. Okay, so I guess you can go to the backpack there. I thought it was there, but no, that's like a little phone or something, but it's upside down. This backpack doesn't make sense. Like this looks like, I don't know. Okay, okay, there we go. There, hose is all hooked up, but it's super tight. That's why I think, no, if you put it up top, no, backpack's right. Okay, whatever. All right, he looks ballin'. He looks pretty cool. Just that hose is pretty darn tight right there. And then he does come with 3 tools. And talk about gummy, these things are they're like softer than a marshmallow. But they are tools of some sort. So this is obviously like a hammery tool. This is a tooly tool. And this is like a wrenchy tool. So, you know, he's got the 3 tools. And the 3 tools go right in the backpack like that, I think. And they also have this thing at the end. You could actually attach the hose to these. So if you want him, you know, to be posed holding a tool, you could actually attach this hose to a tool. I'm not sure if the gun goes anywhere if he's holding a tool rather than a gun. I don't really see necessarily a place you could put the gun. So if you want him in your display holding a tool, then he can't hold the gun. So he can't hold all this stuff. That's one of the G.I. Joe Classified strengths is them being able to hold all their stuff on their body. So I don't know. I guess he's got 2 hands. You can put his gun in the other hand. Okay, I lied. So overall, Big BOA, Techno-Viper are pretty cool additions to the Classified line for sure. Obviously, they're older figures at this point. Just catching up on my backlog. With you tuning in, hopefully. So thank you guys, gals, non-binary pals for tuning into FIGURAMA and supporting FIGURAMA. I appreciate you. I love you. And these figures are great. I especially like Techno-Viper. Big BOA, cool. Doesn't have a lot of accessories, but he's got a cool backstory, and he's very unique. So, I don't know. He's cool, I guess. But Techno-Viper definitely wins it. Techno-Viper is awesome. I love the purple. I love the color scheme. Black, silver, all that good stuff. Looks great. All right, thank you for watching, and peace out.